Welcome back, people. Welcome back. And listen, lateness is greatness. Welcome back into the building. I almost forgot one of the lines. Do you know what I mean?
It's a proper slogan now. Like, it's a thing. Lateness is greatness. You've made it a thing. So kudos to you.
It's become a straight rule now. It's like religion, you know.
Yeah.
Like being not late is a sin.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true.
My son, you have committed a sin. You're early.
You're on time. How dare you?
And I didn't even want to be late, but I forgot to send the boys the link. I was like, why are they not here? I was like,
legit.
Yeah, I haven't even sent them the link for them to join. Someone just said they want to replace me with Dammy. Have some respect on my own channel. Imagine if I did that. Do you know what? Maybe I will do that one day. Maybe I'll just call in sick and I'll put Dammy in my place, and then you'll be on my channll and I won't even be here. That would be weird, wouldn't it?
Imagine us three all calling sick, and we just it's all you can eat. All you can eat Chelsea, like a poor man's version. Do you know what I mean? Like a replacement.
Is that even possible? Has that ever happened on YouTube where someone else has just taken over their channel, like, and the actual person is just not here?
I don't think so. That's the beauty of YouTube, isn't it? Like, you have control of your content, so like. There's no calling in sick to what? Calling in sick to yourself, like.
You know what though, Younes? You know what though? Yan started something funny lately with DigiYan. So it's like it's not really him, it's him, but it's a DigiYan. Which is,
I've seen that.
I swear that is good.
I was like, what is
that
going on?
is good.
I mean,
it's a cool idea.
Is it just me eating today, or you guys got food too?
I got Pringles.
I had a yogurt. And now I've got a water. I finished. I mean, yeah, it's finished. So here's water.
We were so late. Younes already finished his meal.
Legit, I had breakfast, and that was way earlier on because I was like, I gotta eat. I managed to get some training in, and then I was like, I'm gonna eat now. Forget this. I can't wait. So I had a yogurt.
I was in such a rush. I left the tea bag in the tea. I can just see it now floating in there. Jesus Christ!
I'm gonna have some Pringles.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. Like last week, we had a full meal because we were so excited. You know, we'd knocked out Atletico, Bish Bash Bosh, Porto Champions League. My goodness, you know. I mean, we didn't have the draw then, but today, I mean, England versus, as Miz put it, Santino Marella.
We've got like 10 players. Oh, you've seen that meme as well.
Oh, yeah. But who hasn't, bro?
We've got like 10 players playing today. All I am is just nervous. Like, seriously, I'm just nervous. Like, well, I'm guessing, you know, Germany must be playing, isn't it? England. So that's what? Mount, Rudiger, Havertz, Werner.
No, was Rudiger called up? Or
did he go? Called up. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I heard something like he's been missing or something. I'm like, what? Well, I don't know.
You know what the crazy part is? I can't be bothered when it's like qualifiers. I get really excited when, like, say, World Cup comes around or Euros comes around. That's when I really get into it. All of this stuff. But I can understand why, specifically World Cup qualifiers, why that might be very important to ensure that you do get into the World Cup.
Yeah.
So I know it's Santino Marella, whatever. But
that's a game they're going to win even if they play their under 21s. So let's be real.
That is true. But
San Marino, like they celebrate and like go on a national holiday and people have days off work and all that because they score a goal. Like, you know, no disrespect to them because obviously, like, honestly, like, because their level is their level, so fair play to them. But like, we're playing against them. Do you know what I mean?
Do you want me? So what I was planning on doing today, right? Is I'm gonna list out the players that are playing today. And then I'm going to, then we're going to go through each one and we're going to discuss if this is a good thing or bad thing. Because some players in our team maybe need an international game to gain confidence, to go and shine with the internationals, big fish, small pond, and then come back over here into the gargantuan institution, which is Chelsea, and actually perform so we can win the Champions League. so if you want to go through, so the 10 players that are out today on the field that we are literally praying, do not get injured. I have I always get a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach that whenever we have an international break, we're going to pick up injuries. I think so far so good. I already saw Saka go down for England in terms of Arsenal. So we were speaking about that on the London show yesterday. So Christensen is one, Mason Mount, Ben Chilwell, Reece James, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Antonio Rudiger, Emerson, Hudson-Odoi, and Pulisic. They're all involved today. Today, those 10 players are all involved with their national team. Obviously, Hudson-Odoi will be under 21s. The rest of them are seniors. Sorry, and the rest of them are seniors. So
a lot of starters, bro. There's a lot of Chelsea starters.
Bro, everybody's a starter. We only make the best. The only person that might not be starting might be Ben Chilwell, because I'd say Luke Shaw has had the better season. But even still, it's San Marino. They may just say we'll give the weaker fullback the game there. So everybody could potentially start. Pulisic will definitely start. Hudson-Odoi will start. So
how many subs in international?
I have no idea.
No, I think it's still 3. I don't know if there's any 5 business, but it could be. I don't know.
It's frightening, honestly.
Guys, honestly, it's San Marino. Are we really expecting injuries in this game? Like, is it going to be like a fiery match? And
no.
You could play with like a second gear. Do you know what I mean?
We could walk, and I think win 1-0. Like, again, I'm not disrespecting San Marino, but this is just the fact. Like, there's levels to this. San Marino are probably one of the lowest international teams you could come across. Like, it's just how it is.
And by the way, it's not just injury; it's the pandemic, the small matter of the pandemic that is out there. What? Just before we get into the individual players, why would you have I know they got to qualify for the World Cup, but why would you structure it like this in a pandemic? Surely this doesn't make any sense.
I mean, to an extent, like, the games have to be played. If not, there's no World Cup. It's as simple as that. And it has to happen at some point. And regardless of the way that things are going, this isn't something that's going to disappear tomorrow. Let's have it right in terms of COVID and all of that. So I guess it has to be done. If not, we don't get a tournament next year in Qatar. So I don't know. I guess it's just because of that. But I hear you. I just think as long as precautions are taken, then it's fine. But for us, the main priority is to see Chelsea players on the bench. Great.
You know what, boys? I've always wondered, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Why can't international fixtures be played post-league season in a month where all of the international players can gel, can have a better chemistry, as opposed to meeting after 4-6 weeks later and playing for 2 weeks? Like, I mean, what is the whole theory behind putting it in between the league season?
They've got the Euros this summer.
Yeah, this summer.
I mean, the one thing I would say would be to shorten the season and condense it and not have international breaks, because you're playing anyway. So not have the international breaks, and then the season finishes earlier, and then you put all the qualifiers in a 2-week span together, maybe. And then
why can't we do that?
And that would be good pre-season for the Euros, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, is there a reason why that can't be done? Like, is there money involved? Or I've never understood this concept of international games happening within the league season. One, potentially players can get injured. That is a disadvantage to the league teams. And at the end of the day, let's face it, you're making the bigger money from your league. Like, your club is who is paying you the most. National team is it's bonus money that they just go out and spend it in one night. You know what I mean? Like, they just go to a restaurant. This is what I earned playing for England tonight. Just give me some food, man. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's a weird one. It's a weird one. All I'll say about it is that I think there is something to be said for the fact that it could be short. They could shorten the season. I mean, like you said, it doesn't work for the clubs because they could get injuries. doesn't really work for the national teams because they don't really have time to work with the players in the first place. So if you put it at the end of the season, had time to work with them, then cool. That would be probably more beneficial to them as well. And like I said, it would act as a pre-season for any tournament you have in the summer. So if the season finishes in, I don't know, early April instead of May, because you've condensed the season, then you've got 2 months or to work up until the international tournament. I mean, it's very hard as well to watch these World Cup qualifiers without thinking of the Euros because that's what's next.
I think, you make a good point. Just in terms of this season, because we have the Euros, which is understandable. But I think the one issue that I can only think of, because it's a good idea, but the one issue that I think of is if we did finish the season and then we had the internationals immediately after. I mean, I'm cool with that. To be honest, that's a good idea. I don't think it will serve as a pre-season though, because the players need a holiday. They're not just going to be working 365 days a year. So immediately after that, they're just going to stop. They're going to go and have their holidays and just be away from everyone. And that's pre-season or whatever the work that they did in international has gone down the drain because they now have to have a pre-season properly. So I don't think it'll benefit them in terms of, their physique or their fitness or anything like that. But it would be beneficial to just have all internationals immediately after. That way they can just get everything done, play all the matches. And I think it would generate a lot more interest. We hate international breaks. But if you had all the games and they're all traveling and they're all playing, game after game after game after game after game, qualifiers done, finished, we now know who's qualified. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Because right now, Younes and Matisse, all of us can only think about when these players are coming back. We got some massive fixtures of Premier League games. And then there's that little matter of Porto just around the corner in the Champions League. So every one of us are only...
Man City, semi-final.
City.
Bro, that's all I'm thinking about, bro.
Me too. And I'm sure Younes as well. No one really cares about these qualifiers, which, when you think about it, are very important in terms of World Cup qualifications. But as Younes said, had the season been finished, everyone would be talking about the qualifiers. Do you know what I mean?
It's a strange one, but I guess that's I don't even have a reason as to why they do it, but they do it that way. I mean, I guess we'll start with Andreas Christensen. I mean, for his country, he's actually always seemed to be a beast, apparently, because even for Chelsea beforehand, when we were speaking about him not really playing that well for us, and he was looking at one of those players that could be sold. Everyone always went back and said, listen, at Denmark, he's brilliant. He plays in this position. He plays holding midfield. He plays that position. I think he's one of the players on this list that didn't really need this. I don't think they needed this game to build up their confidence. He's going to play because he's Denmark's one of their best players. Yeah. But I don't think he needed this, especially when he came with that sickness for the Atletico Madrid game, then played on the right side of the back three against Sheffield United. I don't know what the reasoning behind that was, because obviously usually he plays in the middle. Zuma was in the middle this time. So it's a weird one for me. I don't feel like as if there was one person I would have wanted to stay home, I probably would have picked out him, because I think he's been brilliant since Tuchel came in. There's been no need to build up any more confidence or anything like that. The only thing that I hope for him is that those little sicknesses that he gets before those big games, that stops. Because it is always before a big game. It's never before a West Brom away or anything. It's always before a very big game.
Those butterflies, man. Those butterflies.
Maybe he's just too excited, Maybe he's just way too excited for his own good. But I just need him to be very calm, because if we get to where we want to get to, it's going to have some big games, very big games towards the end of the season in the Champions League. And as I say Champions League, I immediately just think of Porto, and I just want to talk about Porto, but we can't talk about Porto. What have you guys made of Christensen, and what do you think of this break for him? Would you say it's a blue tick or a negative X? Would you give it?
My man Younes.
Do you want to? All right, I'll take it first. No, Christensen's been amazing, been class, and it's a shame that he had that little moment out with illness, and now he's come back in, and now he's immediately just gone off to Denmark because international. So hopefully all goes well out there and he comes back fine. But yeah, he's a clearly an important player for Denmark, and not just that, because even prior to him playing at Chelsea, or I mean, him being in the first 11 like he is now, he was still involved for international duty. He was still relied, by Denmark, despite him not actually playing that much for Chelsea. But now that he's proven himself and he's doing brilliant under Thomas Tuchel, I think he'll be an important asset to Denmark. Probably captain material if we're talking honestly now, because of how regular he is at Chelsea, and I have faith in terms of how he might progress, because we all had that doubt about Christensen. We all thought, he's meant to have the potential. He's meant to be that next guy. John Terry's raving about him, this, that, and the other. But where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Maybe now we're beginning to see it. Maybe it's happening. So, even going forward, I think he might have a big role to play under Thomas Tuchel.
He's like Denmark's Giroud, isn't he? Like, regardless of whether he plays for his club, he just plays automatically. I mean, Miz, what do you think, Miz, of his future now? Because do you think it's formation dependent? Because if we switch to a back four, are we still as confident in the centre backs that we're about to list as we were? Or do you feel like it's a situation where, no, he's just, as a player, he's just improving regardless?
Look, I think, and I'd be happy to be proven wrong here, I think that 3 at the back and being in the middle, that's his best spot. When it's 2, you're not really in the middle. You've got a lot more responsibilities to cover ground. You've got to be a lot more alert. And this is where Christensen comes into a bit of a, lacking, in his abilities. We've seen the classic mistake he made against Liverpool, where, he missed Sadio Mane's run. He just switched off for a moment, and he was caught out. Whereas in a 3 at the back, and this is the best part about Thomas Tuchel, he's created a system and he's looked at the players and he straight away summed it up that these players have massive flaws. And the only way to hide some of these flaws is with this system. And he's created as Alex was saying yesterday, Matisse, that he's created a layered form of management where if you do make a mistake, there's someone there to cover for you. So I don't know, man. I think 3 at the back suits him perfectly. I'm not really sure what he does for Sweden, right? He plays for Sweden, or who is it? Christensen?
Denmark.
No, Denmark.
Denmark.
Man,
I don't know why I'm thinking about Sweden.
Denmark. Wait, is he talking about Zlatan?
yeah, Denmark. What formation do Denmark? Do they play 2 at the back, 3 at the back? What are they doing? And where does he play center? Does he play as a DM?
I've seen him sometimes playing DM for them. So that's the thing. He for them. He's the main.
But see, if it's a DM, Matisse, it once again makes sense because he's not really one of the 2 at the back. Do you know what I mean? Like as a DM, you've got that cover. So I think Christensen, we just need to calm down a little bit and realize that perhaps, a DM which has cover, perhaps a 3 at the back where he plays in the middle, he gets a lot of cover. I just don't know. If he's cut out, if it's 2 at the back. I don't know. That's just my thought.
Let me see here, because he's quite, let's see, because for Denmark, sometimes it's a 4. So he plays next to he plays next to Kjaer from AC Milan in the 4 and on the left-hand side of it. So he's either going to play on the left side of centre-back, which a lot of people at Chelsea was kind of like pushing him for when we weren't playing him under Lampard. He can play left-sided centre-back, but that's in a 2, in a back 4. Who you would partner him with if we switch to a back 4, I don't really know, because, I mean, some have said Thiago Silva, but I feel like Zuma and Thiago Silva usually would pair up quite nicely. I think if there was to say who would complement each other best. So I do agree with you. I think 3 at the back does suit him. I don't think we've yet found a back 4 partnership for him yet since he's been at Chelsea that's been solid. I remember when Zuma was here and we had John Terry next to him. Remember under Conte? Yeah. That was quite a good partnership. Did Christensen ever really get to play next to John Terry? Not really, did he?
Not really.
No.
Not really. I think he literally was on his way out as Christensen was on his way in.
Yeah.
So, which is a shame.
To be honest, Matisse, I think Zuma's more suited in a back 4 as opposed to a back 3. Even though he played really well in the middle. And I think I know why Thomas Tuchel probably used him in the middle against who was our last game that we played? Man, I'm so forgetful today. The one that Christensen,
Sheffield
United, man, far out. I'm half sleepy. I think he just wanted to accommodate Zuma, and I think Zuma, once again, in a back three, probably the best in the middle. That's his position. If he plays either side, he just doesn't know. So that's probably why Christensen got shifted away. But Zuma in a back four is far more comfortable as opposed to in the back three, I think. I know he did a job against Atletico Madrid. He did a very good job against Sheffield United, but I don't think that's Zuma enjoys being in a back three. So
yeah. It's an interesting one. And then we go off to the England boys in the first team, not the under-21s. So that will be Callum later on. Mason Mount, Ben Chilwell, and Reece James. I think those three players in particular, I think especially the fullbacks, they've got a lot of work to do to be starting for England in the Euros. I think Reece James and Chilwell will both go. I think Mason Mount's obviously a certain. I think they'll both go to the Euros, but to be starters, it's going to be quite difficult for them because there's a lot of players vying for their positions. I think left back, I think Luke Shaw's having the season of his life at Man United. So it's going to be very hard for Ben Shaw to displace him. And then Reece James, we know he's very talented, but his position is just so competitive, like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, he's doing all right. And at the moment, with the team that got called up for this round of internationals, he's the number one right back. Let's have it right.
Do you think he'll definitely start over Trippier? Because Southgate can be a bit mad.
He can be a bit mad. He can be. And I think with Trippier's history for England, especially during the World Cup, where he had a blinding World Cup, I think many of the lads had a blinding World Cup, but Trippier had a really, really good tournament. So it'll be difficult. But with the way that he's playing at Chelsea, with the way that Trippier's been at Atletico Madrid, and with the form that they're now on, which is a little bit of a downward spiral, I think Reece might have that advantage. Obviously, domestically, we've seen Trent Alexander-Arnold just not even called up. So that suits Reece James brilliantly.
Wow. Trent Alexander-Arnold's not in the squad.
Yeah,
he wasn't called up. I don't think any Liverpool players made it, mate.
They haven't.
Well, a lot of them are injured. I think Henderson's injured.
Well, yeah.
It's got nothing to do with them spiraling out of control. Absolutely not.
but for Reece, it's looking good. For Ben Chilwell, I think it'll be quite competitive because, as you said, Luke Shaw, unlike with Reece, where you're looking at his competitors and they're not exactly playing brilliantly, but with Chilwell, Luke Shaw is having a great season at United. So, I think it's looking good for Reece. For Chilwell, might be a little bit of an issue, but he'll definitely get called up. If he's not the main starter, he'll be second choice. Absolutely.
I think this should spur Chilwell on to be a bit more consistent this season. He was very good against Sheffield United. Yeah. But he just needs to be consistent because if he wants to start for England, he's got it all to do. Like you said, I think out of the three names, he's probably the one that's at the bottom of the pecking order for starting position right now, just because his competitor's doing so well. Kyle Walker's obviously in the squad as well, but he does tend to play more right-sided centre-back for England in a back three.
Mate, you say that. Sorry, if Southgate plays a back three against San Marino, I'm going to annihilate him. I'm going to find him personally.
England plays with a back three.
If we do that against San Marino.
They always play with a back three. Every single game. It doesn't matter if it's at home to bloody Haiti or away to Germany, they'll play a back three. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, bro. I have no idea. I spoke about this. I
don't think England would play Haiti. Are they in a different continent?
Bro, completely. I don't know why he played. Like Southgate is getting so much stick in the chat. People are calling it 2.0. I don't know why he plays a back three, bro. It doesn't suit us. The only reason why he plays a back three is to suit Harry Maguire. Because that's the formation that Harry Maguire would invest in. I've got an idea. Just don't start Harry Maguire. How about that?
Simple.
How about you just start, John Stones, bring back, even bring in Tomori in there. Who else is in there that you've got? Bring in Ben Godfrey at Everton.
Yeah.
There's so many names of, Eric Dyer's on the squad. I'm not going to get into it again.
Who are the English centre backs? There's not that many world-class centre-backs that England have.
We're slacking. We're slacking.
No world-class centre-backs.
We're slacking. I mean, we play Eric Dyer there sometimes. It's ridiculous.
Harry Maguire is as close as it comes to world-class there. then you're in trouble.
There's a problem. which might be the reason as well why he goes with a back three, because it does make the team more, defensively solid. But we're jeopardizing what we can do up top, and sometimes we don't do enough. And if we honestly, as we said earlier on, we could put like 11 lads from academies today against San Marino, and we should be getting a result. So there's no excuse to play with a back three tonight. If that happens, Southgate is going to get crucified on social media, especially.
It will.
The other thing that I want to just throw out to you boys. I know it's the international break. I mean, it's not really a break, but you would still want our boys to have some minutes, right? Like, you don't want them to just not play anything for 2 weeks and then here you go, lads.
No, you don't have some minutes, yeah, but not overplayed.
I'd let them have 10 minutes tops.
10 minutes.
But mate, look, listen, look, if they can get some nice, constant training, 15 minutes in a game, no injuries, come back, they'll be ready to go when they come back. 100%.
That's true. San Marino, honestly, they don't need to play against San Marino. You can play is Ross Barkley in the squad? Give him a chance. Give Ross Barkley a chance.
He's not.
I don't think he is, no.
Let me give
one
you
player I like from England, Ross Barkley.
So
by the way, to the live chat, I don't really follow England in national football. I'm more Germany guy, but once again, I don't really follow qualifiers. I just get into it when it's
the
real thing.
Miz is not here to piss about. He's only interested when it gets serious, which is exactly like me. Bro, I'm exactly the same as you. I'm not going to pretend like as if the qualifiers interest me one bit. I'm not interested in seeing England versus San Marino. I'm not going to be doing a live.
Bro, I thought Andres Christensen was playing for Sweden. Like that's my level of thought when it comes to qualifiers. You know what I mean? Like I can't be bothered with these sort of things.
You know what's deep as well? At least the thing with the World Cup qualifiers, when it gets tasty, is when there's like 1 or 2 games left and it's still tight, and you're thinking, "Oh, are we going to miss out here?" But this is the first game of 10, and it's San Marino. It's just, and then we got Albania. Like, it's just, mate.
Yeah, I don't think.
So those are the 2 games for England in this international break.
Is there not 3 games?
There's 3, I think. Yeah,
yeah, 3 games. So
which makes it worse.
You've got San Marino, Albania, and Poland. So
Poland! That would have been good.
Lewandowski,
that would have been good. No, mate, especially here with all the Polish Donnies, like that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
English, Polish fans, that would be mad.
Lewandowski wiping the floor with Harry Maguire. I can't wait to see that. I mean, let me just go through the national team so Miz knows who's in it. I mean,
let me know who Australia's playing, bro. I'm more excited about who Australia's got. I can't wait to see Australia.
You're probably going to be playing against Samoa or something like that.
Samoa, bro, come on, bro. We're in Asia now. We're in Asia. We've made it in. We play against the Asian boys now. We play Japan and South Korea and Saudi Arabia. Bro, we get our asses whooped by them. Do you know what I mean?
And you still qualify for every single World Cup.
I don't know how we do it, bro. Team Cahill, but he's not there anymore.
Qualified by default. I do miss Tim Cahill for Australia. That was good times. Those acrobatic kicks for Everton were a thing of beauty. If you guys in the chat remember Tim Cahill, he was an absolute baller.
Do you remember last World Cup against Netherlands? That flying, the header, or was it a volley? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was a volley. Yeah, man, Tim Cahill has done some madness for us, man. He's done some madness.
It's true. And also, I mean, so far in the international break, before we move on to the other players, we've had Holland lose, what was it, 4-2 to Turkey?
4-2 to Turkey.
That was a
big
great
result.
Game. Yeah,
big result.
Game. Yeah.
That will, because if you look at the rest of the group, they've got Montenegro, Latvia, and like some other small, let's face it, small nation. Turkey beating Netherlands is a huge step for them to qualify into the World Cup, because now they've only got one more game against Netherlands. I think both of those teams will beat everyone else. Mate, Turkey advantage. I think they could do it.
How many qualify in the group? The first 2?
I think number 1 and then number 2 goes to a playoff. So number 1 definitely goes through. But I think number 2 goes to a playoff. Yeah.
So
I think Turkey can top the group.
You're not straight through if you're number 2. You're going to have to play against the other number 2s.
Yeah.
I think that's how it is. That's how it was last time. So
that's pretty crazy.
And then you've got Czech Republic smacking up a team 6-2. Oh, what was it? Souček with a hat trick. That was ridiculous.
Oh,
France
my
drew 1-1 against Ukraine. Griezmann scored a beautiful goal. Like Griezmann really did whack one into the top corner. That was a really good goal from him. And then who else played? Trying to think off the top of my head. I can't even remember, to be honest. But yeah,
did Italy play?
No, they played today.
No, they played today. So those are the games that stuck out in my head. The Turkey one was definitely the one. Do you know what I mean? That was mad.
Matisse, Norway with Haaland. Who's Norway got?
Haaland got subbed off. And they still won 3-0. Like, I don't know.
I have absolutely no idea.
The coach said, "Mercy, just come out, Haaland." Like, we've beaten them 3-0. Just
we're gonna move on to Miz's specialties, which is the German contingent. Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, and Antonio Rudiger. I mean, listen, they're all gonna play, aren't they? I mean, Germany actually have no recognized striker outside Timo Werner, any top one anyway, because they used to have Closer, Mario Gomez, and now it leads on the shoulders of Timo Werner. Obviously, Müller acts as more like a cam.
Just behind.
So, I mean, they're all going to play.
Germany at the moment, they're meant to be playing tonight. It's a mess over there because Hoffman of Mönchengladbach has tested positive, and he had full training with the team yesterday. So, like, now, I mean, he was training fully, like, he's fine. He's not sick. He's healthy, but he's tested positive. So now there's doubts. They're meant to be playing tonight. I don't know what's going to happen.
And the other thing, as I can remember from the last sort of major competition, which was the Euros, I believe, right? The last one where France won. No, the last one was the World Cup. Last one was the World Cup where France won. And Germany didn't do that well. I remember they were
not isn't it?
Defensively poor. South Korea match.
South Korea did a madness to them.
Oh my days, they did a madness. South Korea that time. I was so close to tears on that. That was like, what's going on, man? These teams, reigning champions, getting bundled out like that. And then I remember there was a match against who was it? The one before South Korea, Sweden, where that was a tough game as well. Sweden were leading. Germany at the end with Toni Kroos, that free kick right at the death, won them that. So they got a lot to prove, man. I think they're probably going to take this seriously. And Joachim Low, this is it. Like after this, he's finishing, right? Like there's all this. So he's had a long tenure, and he wants to probably finish with a bang. So, and the thing about German players is, boys, I've noticed they are very passionate for their nation, man. They want to play for their country. Like, it's huge for them. Players like Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Antonio Rudiger, they're going to be buzzing. They want to play every minute for Germany. I'm pretty sure Timo Werner would want to play every minute for Germany. Havertz would want to play every minute for Germany. And then you throw in the pandemic situation. You just hope that these lads come back safe. Do you know what I mean? They don't catch anything. And
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If there's a case, just send them all home now, I think. But
the game might not go ahead. I've just had a look, and there's doubts that it might not go ahead tonight. So I mean, it means that our lads don't play, which no injuries.
I'm not gonna lie, those two could probably do with playing together and building up some sort of chemistry again.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Because they're not exactly in form. I wouldn't say they're not scoring goals. They're not playing at the peak of their powers yet. So they probably do need a game with Germany to get some form or get some chemistry going. Those two players, right? I need them at the end of the season to be firing. I just do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I can't lie. I've got my aspirations are too high for them not to be firing. I've got too many hopes and dreams.
Bro, Kai Havertz all of a sudden has become a very important player in terms of, if we're not really using Timo Werner up front as a striker, and he's more playing as an inside forward, and we're not really utilizing Tammy Abraham and Giroud. Giroud is more of a specialist. Kai Havertz becomes a very, very important player who probably has to play majority of the rest of the matches this season in the Premier League, Champions League, the FA Cup game against Manchester City. So, as you said, Matisse, this lad, you can't just play false nine if you're not producing stuff. You're going to have to start producing stuff. You're going to have to give us assists. You have to start giving us goals. So
man, bunny assists. I need goals.
Goals is important. I think Timo Werner, at least he works hard, man. At least he works really hard, and he gets the odd penalty here and there. He gets the odd assist.
But do you know what? If I'm being fair, Mason Mount worked hard, and that wasn't enough for him either. So we need output.
True.
I expect everybody at this level to work hard now. That mission accomplished, Timo. Now start banging in the goals. That's what I would say. Because I think it's unfair to say, because when Mount was working very hard, but there was no output, nobody got on his back. You know, everybody was fine with it. And Timo Werner's work, everybody will just lean back onto, you know, he's working hard. We need goals. That's what we paid for you to do, is to score goals. Yeah. You know, you look at another player like Tammy, who's getting a lot of grief from Chelsea fans over the 2 years that he's been here. He's packed in more goals in his first season. He packed in more goals in his first season than Timo's packing in his first season at Chelsea. You know, it's not to make comparisons, but I'm gonna make the comparison. You know, you spend 50 million on a striker, and in their first season, Tammy outperformed them last season in his first season. Everybody should be supporting them both, but the double standards just stink when it comes to who gets treated, you know, atrociously and who gets all the support and backing because he works hard. All of the players up front work hard. I see Mason Mount working hard. I see Werner working hard. I see Tammy working hard, but it's painted in a different light because it's a new signing, because he cost 50 million quid. It's like because
that's the underlying factor.
It's like because they cost money, they get more lenience, which it's kind of backwards, if anything, because the expectation, if anything, should be higher. Paid for this brother, you know, out of our own pocket. So, listen, I agree. He's working hard, but there needs to be definitely output.
Do you guys reckon? I know there's a lot of talks. I don't buy into these sort of superstitious sort of talks. There's a lot of people that say the last time Timo Werner played for Germany, you know, they lost 6-0 against Spain.
Watch me shut down this comment. Sorry, carry on.
the last. Let me just read this while I stop talking.
Okay, so
just go and
The floor is yours.
Moment of silence.
Just to shut this down. So when Tammy came into his first season, was he in the Premier League already? Did he come from the Championship? Is that not a different league?
Said season.
I mean,
I don't hear you talking now, do we?
We'll see if he replies. He's put. I mean, he's commented now. He's just put facts, bro.
Do you mean FAX?
In England, it doesn't matter. Look,
no, but
you're not serious.
Yeah, go on.
When players step up from the Championship to the Premier League, that is not easy. Let's not get it twisted. I know we've had a few players to do it. Look at Harry Wilson. He had a great season at Derby with Mason Mount. Where is he now? He's playing for Cardiff. He didn't do anything at Bournemouth. It's not easy. Don't get it twisted now. Just because some of our players have done it, it doesn't mean it's easy. Like these guys, they stepped up from the Championship into a Chelsea first team that had to win games. This wasn't like you're stepping up to the Premier League and, you know, you got time to get a feeler for it, get a breather. He literally took the number 9 shirt, went from Aston Villa to starting for Chelsea up front in the number. Do we not understand how crazy that is? This club spend 50, 60, 70 million on strikers at top European clubs to lead the line for this football club. And someone from Aston Villa in the Championship goes up to a new league, like Ollie Watkins did, like Patrick Bamford did, like all these strikers. He goes up to a new league, and he's not even playing for the newly promoted team. He's playing at the top level for a club that have to win games, wearing the number 9 shirt. You'll never get any Tammy disrespect on this channel. He may not be good enough to lead the line. He may not be good enough to, you know, keep his place in the starting 11 if we're going to win trophies. Erling Haaland until I die. But let's be real. The double standards in comparing the two, the amount of abuse Tammy gets in comparison to what the support Werner is getting, when Werner's giving us less output, is on less wages and cost more. From a amortization cost standpoint, Werner's costing you way more money than Tammy did, and you're getting less output. Come on now, it's mad. Do you know what I mean?
I think with the one thing to you could say back Werner on is even he's admitted it himself when he first arrived to Chelsea. You remember his first few games and how and Havertz said the same thing about how demanding the Premier League felt and how, they walked in and it was like, wow, it is difficult. And I remember Timo Werner having that little interview, and then Havertz said the same thing. I think he said it before Timo, saying, yeah, this is different from the Bundesliga. I think the advantage that Tammy Abraham had was obviously growing up here in this country through the system here. Yeah. You immediately adapt to what English football is about, and that comes from grassroots. And I think a lot of people underestimate the Championship. At one point, the Championship was rated the 5th best league in the world. You had Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, and then the Championship.
Younes, I would still say
it is. Actually rated 5th.
Yeah, 5th, and I can get why, because it is that I look at the Championship, I see it as the Premier League of, your typical English game. That typical, you go from like pub football and then the Premier League of traditional English football, where it's mainly 4-4-2, physical, just go all out, guns blazing. The Championship, that is it. You look at the Championship, it's very physical. So Tammy's been through that. He's had that advantage. And I think that's why in the Premier League, coming into, whether it was Swansea initially, the loans at Aston Villa, Chelsea, he's been through that process. I think with Timo Werner, and this is why I'm cutting him, Havertz, Ziyech, all sorts of slack, is to allow them this season to just settle and, adapt, especially in the COVID season where they're completely confined and they can't even go about and just try and observe about, English culture and really, settle as quickly as they would like to. It's all confined and they can't do what they'd like. So next season, we'll see, and that's when I think we should be properly judging on Timo Werner. But I see your point.
It's not to say that Timo Werner shouldn't be given time and support. 100% he should be. I keep saying everybody deserves a second season. He's won a lot of penalties. He's hit the post. He's been quite unlucky. There's still things that he needs to improve in his game, but
absolutely,
he's definitely on the right track. I see him doing better next season. This is not really to give Timo Werner stick. It's just to say, it's really defending Tammy. That really, If you're seeing what Werner's doing this season and all the support he's getting, and then you compare it to what Tammy did for us in his first season, and people will say he played for Swansea when he was 19. Let's be real. That Swansea team was absolute garbage, and he still had to go back down to the Championship. So he still had to step up to another level. And Swansea were literally lingering around the bottom of the Premier League. Lingering around the bottom of the Premier League is different to playing at the top level. That's like Ampadu playing at Sheffield United now, then going to the Championship for 2 years, and then when he comes to Chelsea and is in the starting 11 at centre back, you saying, he should be ready now because he had a time at Sheffield United when they got relegated. Doesn't really make any sense. Do you know what I mean? You're still having to acclimatise to the league and the new level as well and the new expectation. So, and playing on the front foot. So I'm just saying, all I'm saying is, if you're gonna have this energy for Werner with the support, I think Tammy deserves the support and the energy. And it's not fashionable. It's not in style because he's not playing at the moment. He's basically cast aside and he's probably leaving anyway. So you don't really have to support him because he's probably going to be on the way out. But in my opinion, for what he's done, I think he deserves a lot more respect than he's getting, because as a young forward, to be putting in the goals that you put in, and people always pick holes at what he doesn't get right. There's a lot of things our new signings are not getting right, but because they're the shiny new toys, we'd rather focus on what they do well. But Tammy, why not focus on what he does well? If you used to read through the chat, and I've spoken to Lee and Toby and all these guys on my show who think that he can't even start for a top 10 club in the Premier League. Bullshit, in my opinion. And the way that we paint this guy to be an absolute bum, like as if he can't do anything, for me is a joke. He's one of probably the top under 23 strikers in the world. Take out your Mbappe, your Haaland, and just actually look at the under 23 strikers. He would be in that pool.
I think from my perspective, the whole Tammy scenario is that, look, he's a very good player. We can never take away the thing that he did for us last season. He was amazing. He got all those goals early in the season. Yes, in the latter part of the season, sort of fell off, but it's very difficult to be consistent at his age and in his first proper Premier League season to be that prolific. But nonetheless, he was still good. I think my issue with Tammy is that and this has got nothing to do with Timo Werner, because I'm actually very, very concerned about Timo as well in terms of his long-term career for Chelsea, because I expected him this season to finish a lot better than what he has shown, because some of the stuff that he's missed this season, and he's missed it repeatedly, it scares me. It really, really scares me, because the levels that is required at Chelsea is up here. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not a Mickey Mouse club. We're talking about we should be reaching Champions League semi-finals, finals on a regular basis from here on in. That's the kind of club we are. And if you're going to do that, you need a lethal weapon of a striker that's going to bang in 25 goals plus every season. Do you know what I mean? 20 to 25 goals.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I'm a bit worried about, yes, he is on the right track. So that aside, Tammy Abraham, as much as what you said, Matisse, is true, but I personally don't think he is a long-term Chelsea striker. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different facets in his game that is lacking. His aerial ability, his hold up, his just movement. You know, sometimes his movement, the crosses that Reece James have put in, he's literally always centimeters away. And it's things
I
like
agree
this.
with you, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you agree, because I've heard you say these sort of things. So I know you agree. I think you're more upset about the fact that he still deserves respect, which he does.
I think he does. That's my thing.
Does.
I think if he's leaving this club in the summer, I think he deserves to leave with his head held high. I don't think he deserves 100%. To leave being bashed saying that he was a shit striker, because I've seen a lot of shit strikers at Chelsea. He's not one of them.
I think we all have, to be honest. I think the one reason why he gets the grief is because he hasn't signed. I think if he had signed like the others, I think people would be like, okay, all right, cool. Let's try and get the best out of this guy. And I think it's just because he hasn't signed that I think everyone's come to terms. He's going. So get lost. That sort of mentality, which I disagree with. But
I think it's lazy, because I think there's a lot of players we've had in our history that haven't signed new contracts. That's business. Do you know what I mean? That's for me. I don't blame him for not signing a new contract. Why would he? Erling Haaland is literally a player that has been knocking on the door in terms of the transfer targets. Why would you sign a new contract? It doesn't make any sense. You have to, from a business.
You know what, Matisse? Why would he think that Haaland is a guaranteed he's going to? I mean, how can we actually? No, I mean, look, I get it. He's a phenomenal player, but we have seen other phenomenal players in the history of football where we believe that they're going to turn out to be something amazing, and it just didn't materialize. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Haaland. It could possibly be that he turns out to be a phenomenal player. But from a Tammy's point of view, I'm just saying that why would he want to surrender straight away? Why would he want to do that? Why not, as Younes is saying, why not just sign? And I'm pretty sure Chelsea is not giving him anything less than what, let's say, I don't know, there's been rumors that he's been touted with West Ham. You think West Ham's going to pay him more than what we are going to pay him? I highly, highly doubt that. He's going to get more pay.
I don't think it's about money. I just think it's about being realistic. But Erling Haaland turns up, you ain't playing, bro.
But bro, come on.
But this is the thing. Like when Mason Mount signed.
Yeah, he didn't give up with Havertz.
That's the comparison, exactly. And his dad has said that himself.
I think the difference is that you can put Havertz and Mason Mount in the same 11. You can't put Tammy and Haaland in the same 11. You can't. It will not work.
Yeah, but you're talking about it now, though, Matisse. Think about when the signings were happening, when we got Havertz and Ziyech, how many people were saying Mason Mount was going to miss out? How many people were saying? A lot were saying that he's going to keep playing because of Frank Lampard, but many thought that with Ziyech and Havertz, well,
there's no room.
Where does Mount play? But where did Mount play? Started playing in the wings and Callum. So look, I'm a believer of that. Tammy, he should not just give up just because it's Erling Haaland. How mad would it have been if Didier Drogba, when he saw Shevchenko walk in, you know what?
I'm gone, lads.
I'm off to Marseille now.
You can make that comparison, or you can do Lukaku, who wasn't looking like getting the game time, and he just left, and he's had a good career. So it depends on which way you want to go, because at the end of the day, you can stay, but you could also stay and get lost in the system and end up at Cardiff. So
but Matisse, he could stay and still leave. Do you know what I mean? Like he could stay and still have the option of leaving. I just feel like He's taken an easy way out now. Look, I don't know. I don't know why he hasn't signed, and I don't really know what's going on. I think it is clear at the moment that Thomas Tuchel probably doesn't fancy him. He's the one player that's been hooked off twice at halftime. So, that says it all. But yeah,
man, Tammy's not
completely respect Tammy.
Tammy's not even in the England squad. He's still got brought up. Why should it take Werner the whole 38 games to adapt to the league? What about players who hit the ground running straight away? Listen, I mean, every player is different. I get your point. I just on the standard, I give everyone a full season to adapt. I kind of partially agree with you. Maybe you don't need 38 games to adapt, but if it takes you 38 games, I'm willing to give you that amount of time. Maybe I'm too lenient. I don't know. But like I said, second season, then I expect everybody to turn up and do their thing because that's what we paid the money for. To get back to the list. That's the beauty.
We can never help ourselves.
That's the beauty of this show. We went on a massive tangent then. I don't even know how that started, but it must have been something from, I don't even know, but it was just funny to me. Emerson's in the Italy squad. He actually plays a lot as well. He's a first choice left back there. What do we make of Emerson? Because obviously he got his touch against Atletico Madrid, scored, played against Sheffield United in the back three. I don't know if I like him in the back three. Actually, I do know. I don't like him in the back three. He's not, long term. I don't think next season, I don't want to be seeing that. That's not what I look at and see as a viable option for a left-sided centre-back in a proper Chelsea team. But, I mean, he's probably going to go in the summer, isn't he, if we're being real?
Look, I definitely don't like him in a back three, but I think he's a good shout for a left wing back. I reckon he would be a very good left wing back. He's got that attacking sort of sense. That was a really nice goal that he scored against Atletico Madrid. Great finish. I do understand that Thomas Tuchel has been using Alonso because that is Alonso's all about left wing back, but it would have been nice to see Emerson maybe get some opportunities because I think he's far more suited in that role. I think he's far more suited than Chilwell as well in that role as a left wing back. I actually think Chilwell would be a very good left centre back. I feel like
he wins a lot of headers.
He wins a lot of headers.
Yeah, he does.
Exactly. He wins a lot of headers. Defensively, he's quite sound. He doesn't, as a left wing back, he doesn't really bomb up and occupy spaces like Alonso. I think as a left centre back, he would be a brilliant overlapping centre back. Do you know what I mean? Like he could add in with the attack. So that's my thoughts about Emerson. I think we could have utilised him a lot more, but I think he's going to go.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. I actually kind of agree with you. Like Chilwell, if you saw him in that Sheffield United game, he was winning aerial duels like a centre back. Like maybe you put Chilwell left-sided centre-back. He's very good at defending those wide areas there. He's going to win his headers. He's got pace as well. Maybe you put him there and you put Emerson at left wing-back and allow him to get forward. He's a bit smoother. I don't know. For me, I'd like to see it. I think you might be getting at something there. What do you think, Younes?
I completely agree. I think Chilwell, we all know Chilwell defensively is better than he is going forward. With Emerson, I think now it's clear to see it's the other way around. So, yeah, absolutely. Emerson at left wing back could be good rotation with an Alonso, for sure. The problem with having Chilwell at left centre back is who you picking? Are you picking Rudiger? Are you picking Chilwell?
Rudiger. Yeah, it's not. It's just as like an emergency situation.
No one's removing Rudiger, bro.
No one's removing Rudiger.
One of my favourites now. Rudiger. I'm propping Rudiger.
which means that if we do stick with Rudiger and if Emerson is the one rotating with Alonso, for example, Chilwell's in the bin, and that's not going to happen because we bought Chilwell and we bought him for a reason. So I think, I see it the same way as you. I think Emerson could be on his way out. Alonso definitely won't be the guy sacrificed, that's for sure, because he gives us a different dynamic, especially in the back three. So yeah, Emerson probably to leave, maybe with a couple of other lads as well. If you're talking, for example, Azuma, maybe he could be on his way out. You never know. But for me, Emerson, good left back, good left wing back now, but on his way out.
If we continue with the back three next season, though, what happens then? Do you know what I mean? Where does Chilwell go? Where does Alonso and Emerson?
Basically, all the initial plans we had when we brought these signings to Stamford Bridge with Lampard in the bin. In the bin. That plan is gone.
If I'm being honest, I would still like long term to see Alonso go. I don't think that will change, and I still think Emerson potentially will end up going as well, just because he's not ever going to be like a starter, and he's never going to be like the guy that I say is not good enough to be a bench player. But at the same time, we've already got Chilwell, so we could do a Chilwell and Emerson thing, but I feel like I want someone else in there. I feel like
you'd want someone new.
I think if I don't see, it depends, because if I see Chilwell just take that position and be consistent and just own it, and there's like no one's touching him, then you can say maybe, you know, you can have a secondary. But I don't know about Emerson. I just don't see Emerson as being this like backup guy who just sits there for like 2 or 3 years and just doesn't, like, he's in the Italy squad. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's literally starting for Italy. I would think if I was Emerson, I'd want to play games, like first team level, maybe in Serie A. And Alonso, I would still want him to go in the summer if we can get rid of him. So it's a weird one.
Who'd be on your mind, Matisse, to get as a left wing back?
He's gonna say, let's just go all out for Alphonso Davies and we're done.
Oh, we're not getting you. That is never happening.
Someone's mentioning Hakimi, but I wouldn't.
Hakimi, yes.
He's a right back, isn't he?
He's a right.
He can play left as well.
He can
play left as well.
Yeah, I know he can, but I don't know if I really want a right footer on the left like that. Maybe the other brother at Dortmund. You know, when Hakimi was there.
Rafael Guerrero.
Yeah, Guerrero.
Yeah, he's good. He's
got
good.
a cool name.
Viva la raza.
Viva la raza.
You know,
I lie, I steal, I cheat.
Gossuns from Atlanta. Gossuns. He's a
Mate,
good left wing back.
Goosens or whatever.
Yeah, he plays left wing back. I remember when we was linked to him, but we was like, no, we're not going to get him. He plays left wing back. He's not a left back. Now, if we're playing left wing backs, makes sense. You know, I think those two are decent targets.
FFP is being scrapped. Yeah, look, blank check. Bayern Munich, Alphonso Davies, mate.
But I legit think he'll be $250 million.
League probably would be. He probably would be, mate. It'd be ridiculous.
No.
250 million. I reckon he's easy 250 million.
No chance. No one pays that. If that's like where we're going, then we need to put a cap on transfer fees.
Apparently, actually, no. Is it No, it's not transfer
it's
fees.
Wages,
Sorry,
wages. They should put a cap on transfer fees, but that's another story. Andre says we need to trim some fat from this squad. 100%. There's bacon and there's fat on it, and I don't like fat with the bacon. I would like it cut off. Do you know what I'm saying?
Tuchel likes the fat. Tuchel's like, 22-man squad. I need 22. I've got 22. Fantastic. He loves it.
It can clog up your arteries. I think cut off the fat off the bacon and keep it moving.
It can clog up your arteries.
But Tuchel's someone that burns more calories than he consumes. Do you know what I mean? So it's like he's on a constant deficit.
The brother is fit.
I'd still cut it off, Younes. I'd still cut it off. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't want to take that risk.
You're just going straight low carb, low everything.
Man,
we're just
low carb. Do you know what I mean? Just
proper
healthy diet, man.
You're going
Someone
keto.
said bring back Malang Sarr. I don't know if anybody's watching Malang Sarr, but everybody always brings up Malang Sarr, and I don't feel like anybody's watching him. He's not playing consistently.
Well, we will do when we play against Porto.
At all? Do you actually watch Malang Sarr?
Yeah,
please, can you tell us how many matches have you seen of Malang Sarr? I get this as well, boys. Every time I talk about left back or this and that, centre back, what about Malang Sarr? I'm like, what about him? Do you watch him?
He's mainly there
Don't
for
just
profit.
throw names out.
Yeah, he's mainly there to be profited from the club in terms of turning him over. I don't think he's going to be.
Bro, you know what though? I'll be filthy because I've read that article from the Athletic how he's eligible to play for Porto against us.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
I'd be filthy if he puts on a masterclass defensive effort.
Oh, like how Courtois did when we played Atletico in 13-14. Yeah.
Oh man. But you know what?
Two things to hate Courtois for. All right.
And you know what, boys? He could have the intention of doing that because Malang Sarr would think, if I am the reason if Chelsea gets knocked out, then I'm sure Chelsea would want me back. Like, I've got my future sorted. I'll be Chelsea superstar.
Yeah.
So he could go out there and go, you know what? I want these guys gone.
Yeah, well, Porto fans are not singing lyricals about him, and he's not playing regularly. So, you know, we may not even see him starting that game, you know.
Bro, is he in the international squad for anyone?
No, he wouldn't be. He's French. He's no way he's in that team. Not even getting close. No chance. Malang Sarr, not good enough. Loan army, cash cow. Yeah, I would agree. I would say he's going to end up being a cash cow. You know, we didn't spend any money on him. I would prefer to see Guehi from Swansea. So yeah, that's where I am on the matter at the moment, to be honest.
You see, this is why our net spend is fantastic.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to sell him for what, 15 million minimum, probably.
Minimal. Yeah. I mean, we got him for
free. Yeah.
Hey, lovely.
That's beautiful.
Free money, man.
What is your best front three in mind?
That's Haaland's bonus payments. You know, that the transfers and the bonus of 10 million per year. There you go. That's the bonus.
That's a little bit of keep the change to Dortmund.
And in response to this super chat, it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as our best front three because nobody's on form. And when I say form, I mean 5 games. So until that happens, there is no such thing. It's just, I don't care who plays. It could be Pulisic. Like, the good thing about our attack is that they're all evenly balanced. They've all got ability. Yeah. They just need to show it. So whoever plays well, bro, they can start. There's no such thing as a best front three. We could pick it right now because Ziyech has had 2 good games. Pulisic's had 2 good games.
Mount's a good shout, man. Honestly, I know people are going to hate me. They're going to start writing, oh my God, he said Mount. But honestly, watch his games under Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah.
Thomas Tuchel, if everyone is fit, he starts Mount. I'm telling you, he starts Mount.
On to the England under-21s and Hudson-Odoi. He's playing. And he'll probably be playing in the front three, but he's been playing right wing back for us as well. I've been a bit disappointed with him the last 2 outings because his end product has been quite poor. The Atletico Madrid game, I went on about it for a bit, even though he won. That was my one slight negative, was that when he came on, he wasn't that sharp and his end product was quite poor. You know, on the counter, we had quite a few breakaways and he wasted all of them. And then against Sheffield United, didn't really do much either for me. You know, he wasn't a standout performer. So,
bro, his movement was poor against Sheffield United. The amount of times where players were looking for him to run into space and he wasn't there, that was very frustrating for some of our forwards. I remember there were a few times Kai Havertz was looking for a run. There were a few times from midfield players, and he was like, I mean, I'm here. Why are you passing down there? Well, you need to be running that way, my man. You can't just be static in your position. You got to make that run. Do you know what I mean? So I wasn't happy against Sheffield United.
The problem for me with Hudson-Odoi started at Leeds. You know, at Leeds, he missed his end product. I completely agree, Matisse. His end product was just poor. It's just he did everything right. And then in terms of testing the keeper, taking a shot, he'll take the shot. It's weak. It's straight at the keeper. And it's the same thing over and over again. And we saw it against Atletico for portions, Sheffield United. It's just that end product. I don't know, which is a bit baffling because at youth level, he was slotting them in left, right, and centre. Like he'd have, no problem in getting shots off accurately. Whereas now it just looks like he panics, takes the shot for taking the shot, and hopes that it just goes in. It's like, no, you're quick, you're technical, you've got the ability. Take your time, analyze it, pick a spot, put it there because you can do it. It just looks like he rushes himself, and I don't know if that's just something that's going to keep going or if he can change. Hopefully he can change, but his end product is what lets him down completely.
You know what's been annoying me a lot as well, Younes, is that you saw what Pulisic did to the 3 Sheffield United players and how he just zipped through the middle and literally annihilated them. And that says Pulisic that's not confident. That's him not confident doing that kind of stuff. This is what I wanted from Callum and let's be honest, Callum's in a confident state at the moment. The injury stuff is gone. That's behind him now. And he's been getting minutes under Thomas Tuchel. Yes, he got subbed on and subbed off. And there's been some comments from Tuchel that I don't like his energy when he comes off the bench. When he starts, he has all the energy. When he comes off the bench, he doesn't have the same energy. But what I want to see from Callum is that one-on-one ability. Take that man on. When you're one-on-one, have the confidence to go past them. Use your pace. Be more confident. Be bold. If you lose the ball, you lose the ball. I don't care. But you've been given the opportunity, especially when you're playing as a right wing back. You're always one-on-one. Take him on. Do you know what I mean? So that's where he's been very disappointing. I get what you guys are saying in terms of end product, but for me, it's more the stuff before the end product as well, which I've not been happy with. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. When does that conversation start about, well, you know, he's played under Sarri. That was a fantastic. Obviously, then he got injured last season. It was a lot more injury, and he was getting back into it. And then latter part of the season, he barely featured that much. It was all about Pulisic. This season, he doesn't get minutes under Frank Lampard. He gets minutes under Tuchel, then he doesn't again. I mean, where is this going?
He's inconsistent. He was very, very good at the start of Tuchel's reign. Very good.
Yeah.
Now he's not so good. For me, he's just a very young raw talent who's very inconsistent. He can be very good, and then sometimes he doesn't quite show what he's made of. So, I mean, this is all part of the teething problems, I guess. When you've got a young player like this, you kind of just have to accept that this is what's going to happen. You're going to have moments. I mean, how old is he? 20 years old. You're going to have moments where they're great, and then moments where they're not so great. He's got a lot of parts of his game where he needs to polish. I haven't seen that 1v1 demon type stuff that I was talking about when he first broke onto the scene in that Europa League run and in that pre-season under Sarri. I haven't seen that since the injury, which is a shame. I think his finishing as well can definitely improve. I've always said that. Put him more in the corners. If he's going to play on that left wing, which is what a lot of people want him to do, his finishing is going to have to be a lot better than it has been. You know, I think he scuffs his shots sometimes, and that you're going to have to just be a bit more decisive. But that hopefully will come. You know, this is the thing. When you've got young players like this, you have to accept that there's going to be progress. There has to be there has to be a lot of patience involved. And that's why you don't want him to be an out-and-out starter. You need competition for his place, which we've got.
But that's the thing as well, Matisse. He's always going to be on his toes at Chelsea. He's always going to be on his toes. And is that actually good for him, or does he need to have that sort of sense that, okay, I'm going to start week in, week out, and I can build on my game, and I'm not going to, every single mistake I make, and I'm out of the team, and I'm not starting the next one. I mean, what's better for him? Do you know what I mean? Like, does a 20-year-old need to play week in, week out? Or does a 20-year-old need that level of pressure that Chelsea Football Club has with all that caliber of players?
Depends on the mentality, because look at Phil Foden. He didn't play week in, week out. He just sat there and developed, and then now he's got his chance to shine. So it's all about the mentality. I think he's gone past that stage of saying you're going to loan him out to a German team like a Leipzig or something. I think the contract that Chelsea put him on, and the status that they gave him after those Bayern Munich bids, I think he's gone past that situation where you start talking about loans. So he just has to develop here, in my opinion, and he has to improve, which is what Phil Foden's done. Or you can go out on loan and get your regular game time. It really just depends on the player. So yeah, it's I think Tuchel's the right person though to improve him, and I'm interested to see how he comes back after the summer, after the preseason next season, if we see an evolution and a level up in his game, because there's a lot of gears to go. Some super chat here saying that you guys, are you going to Istanbul?
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
100%. Honestly, we can only wish. I don't think it's possible, bro. Unfortunately, to go to Istanbul. I think from what I'm seeing, there's no chance anybody's going to be in Istanbul. Istanbul is going to be a lonely place. It's going to be like Baku, only there's actually going to be no fans. Baku, there was fans. Just felt like there wasn't.
Well, no, Turkey are saying that, they've already said that the final will have supporters in it.
Oh, really?
20,000 fans will be there. And Turkey are happy with that. Turkey have already said they're opening up this summer. Fine. Anyone's welcome.
Yeah?
Oh, wow.
They've already said that. Turkey have said that. So if you're looking for somewhere to go this summer, Turkey will be fine.
Only caveat is that if you go, when you want to return to your own country now, what have you done to it?
Well, that's like other countries have things and conditions. I mean, here it's pretty lethal. Like, if you come back here
and try and come back,
you're in trouble.
Okay,
17, you have to pay £1,750 and spend 10 days in quarantine, and that's out of your own pocket. So tough.
I saw George Benson saying that in his Instagram, where he was saying he can't return back at the moment. Like, he can't return back to UK.
No, you can't. No, you can't go back into UK.
No, unless if he's happy to pay that, which I don't think anyone is. No one's happy to pay that.
Think
so
after you've spent what you have to spend on those Champions League and tickets and those flights, to then come back here and pay that hotel fee, that monopoly hotel land on fee that you got to pay. I don't think anybody's. I mean, unless you're incredibly loaded, but I don't. Nah, it's not happening for the regular folks. So, yeah, I think it's all good, all well and good. Turkey opening their doors, but when other countries have their doors closed, that's where the sticking point comes. And this is why I keep saying to people when they say, "Listen, I'm going on holiday in the summer. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." I'm like, you can say that, but you need to look at all the borders and see if you can go and come back with no issue. Because if you can go, cool. If you can't come back, then you haven't completed your journey. So unless you're moving away,
it's you're not one way, my man.
Unless if you're moving, exactly. Unless you're
running away from home, then good luck to you with all that. End product is what puts Cho below Saka and Greenwood. I wouldn't put Greenwood in that category because Greenwood's output has not been he's not consistent. Saka and Foden is what I would say in terms of two established players that are playing at the top of their game in the Premier League for their clubs. Arsenal are not a top club, so it's a lot easier in terms of getting into their team. But at the same time, you're not surrounded by great players. That's why I rate Saka so highly, because he's been.
How old's Foden?
Foden's 20, I think now.
I think he's 20. Yeah, I think so. He's young.
Same age as Callum.
Yeah, they're going to be similar ages. Yeah.
Bro, the difference is massive, though.
But
I know our fans are going to hate me now, but the class difference
there's always context, because if you give Hudson-Odoi one stable club who don't change managers every 5 seconds, and you give him the best manager in the world currently, probably, which is Pep. And then on top of that, you don't give him that massive injury, and you take a Hudson-Odoi that, from the time he broke onto the scene, had that Europa League run, no ACL, and you give him Pep from that breaking into the first team up until now. I wouldn't be surprised if you get someone that's at the top of their game in the Premier League as well. So It's all about context. When you give him 3 different managers plus an ACL, it's not going to be easy for someone to do what he's had to do. I mean, all you have to do is look at the Under-17 World Cup, which I think someone's brought up really well here. And you or the Under-19s or anything. You look at England internationals. You look at the level Hudson-Odoi's been playing at. He's been playing at the same level as a Foden in those squads. Mason Mount has been very good in those squads. So, let's not forget the Chelsea youth team has been the best youth team in the country for a reason, for God knows how many decades.
In Europe for a while.
In Europe. But it's the lack of stability at our club. Yes, the youngsters have broken through, but when you're getting managers sacked and you're getting injuries and it's madness. So we just need a bit more stability for these youngsters, and the same goes for Pulisic, who we're going to move on to. He needs a lot more stability as well. Less injuries from him. He needs to be consistently fit. So that's the last player we'll talk about. And obviously, he's had a good couple of games. Cameo against Atletico, getting the assist. Sheffield United, he was probably, I think it's debatable. He got man of the match in the end. Possibly could have been Zuma, but he got it. So he had a very good game. But when it comes to the US, his position for the main man is under threat. You've got Raya at Dortmund. You've got Tyler Adams at Leipzig, who did a madness. And I think, when it comes to Pulisic, when he gets to go back to his country, it is that big fish in a small pond effect. But he's got that should help him get the confidence up. Would you guys agree? It's probably good for him to go back there.
I think so. He's been very, let's say, inconsistent, and we've not had the Pulisic that we had after, Project Restart. So him probably going back to an environment where he knows he is like the Don. he is like the king of that national team. Let's have it right. And looking over his shoulder, as you've said, there are a couple of talents that are now, not looking to take his place because they all play together, but that are making that statement. So it probably will help him to go to the US to the US team and to really make his mark out there, come back and hopefully come back with a bit of confidence, because when Pulisic's confident, we know what he can do. Like, his game against Sheffield United, yes, man of the match. Again, end product was an issue, like we've spoken about. But apart from that, he was great. If he can get some confidence from the United States and then come back and ride with it, yeah, that would definitely benefit him. So we'll see what Pulisic comes back. Hopefully it's not the same guy that left.
Yeah, sorry, not ACL, Achilles. I'm getting confused. We've had so many injuries to players like Loftus-Cheek. I'm just getting confused with the injuries at this point. It's actually becoming sad. Miz, what's your take on it? Because obviously, you know, he's a player that, again, we need him to step up in the second half of the season, isn't it? Because he's been
100%.
non-existent up until this point.
100%. I loved what he said. There's some quotes going around. I'm not sure if you guys have seen. Pulisic has been saying, and something really caught my eye, and I really liked what he said. He said, yeah, I haven't been playing enough for Chelsea. I would love to, obviously, but I feel like I'm in the right path. And, you know, he basically...
Oh.
Has he gone?
Frozen. Like the movie Disney.
He's out of here.
Look at that. It's just like this. It's just completely frozen. Look at that. That is incredible.
That's stunning. Australia's had a blackout.
Maybe so. That might be it. I mean,
I don't know where he was going with that.
I'll read out this super chat while the Dammy curse someone just says. while Miz is frozen, I'll read out the super chat. I had a dream last night. I fell down the stairs and some stranger helped me up and then whispered in my ear, I'm coming to the bridge. It was Highland. That is such a random super chat, bro.
That's a great dream. That's a great dream.
That's so random.
I hope it's a real dream and you're not bluffing.
Oh, he's disappeared now. He's disappeared. So random, but yeah, hilarious at the same time. I don't even know how to pick up from there. I kind of just want to wait for this to...
Well, mate, your thing of earlier on saying, "Oh, what happens if we all go sick?" I mean, 1 is now down, so 2 to go, and we'll see what happens.
This is what happens when we have international breaks and we allow players to meet up when they shouldn't. And look what happened in the German squad now. Look what's happening to the all-you-can-eat Chelsea squad. You know,
it's a mess.
It's a mess. This is what happens. It's ridiculous. the chat is just going off on the Wi-Fi. Oh my goodness gracious!
Prison Wi-Fi. Yeah.
At least it's not me this time. That's all I can say, you know?
Yeah, it's normally you and issues with your kit man and all that.
Oh my god. Oh my god. But anyway, to round it up on Pulisic, I guess.
Yeah, what do you think?
I mean, for me, I've got a lot of patience for Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi. They're both very young. I've seen what they can both do to different degrees and for different lengths of time. But I am confident in the two players. And it's why when it comes to the attack, I would only sign a Haaland and I would leave the players behind. I'd leave Ziyech, I'd leave Pulisic, I'd leave Hudson-Odoi, Havertz and Werner. I'd leave them all to just have a second season, some of them, and also, there we go.
I don't know what happened, man. I think my internet just gave up on me.
Don't worry, we're gonna wrap up soon anyway. But I was just saying, I've got a lot of time for Pulisic, for Hudson-Odoi. Those two players in particular, as young players developing, I've seen what they can do as young players. So now it's a patience thing. I'm just like, listen, I've seen what you guys can do at your best. You just need to make it consistent now. And that's the thing with me with youngsters. As long as you've seen a level, like Pulisic, we've seen him carry this team at times, you know? Yeah. Hudson-Odoi, we've seen him under Tuchel have great games, switching the play, you know, having great moments. So, you know, under Sarri as well before the injury. So as long as I've seen a youngster do great things in the first team enough times, then I've got quite a lot of patience for them to replicate that on a more consistent basis as they get older. But yeah, people, that's about it. I mean, we'll probably wrap up now. It's the international break. Next time we speak, we'll be building up to the Premier League. Thank God.
Yeah.
International break is just long, man. I just want Chelsea to play West Brom. I can't wait.
Well, to wrap up, let's have a little fun here and see if we can get this right. What's your predictions for England San Marino tonight?
How many goals?
5-0. 5-0.
5.
I'm gonna go 6-0.
You're going 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say. I mean, it's England, isn't it? So you never know. But I want to say
Southgate as well.
I want to say 8-0, but realistically, we're probably going to win like 2-0, and then San Marino are going to celebrate.
I just forgot it's Southgate in charge. Let me bring that down to 3-0 because Southgate's going to play a back three. He's going to play a back three.
Can you imagine that would actually be a poor result? Like 3-0 would be a poor result.
He's literally going to play a back three.
If England concedes, is that going to be
it's a sackable offence. It's a sackable offence. And San Marino, if I'm not mistaken, San Marino have scored, like, in their existence, they've scored like 20 goals or something. Like, it's not seriously. And that's why every time they score a goal, it's like, whoa, we've scored a goal. Like, it's mad. If they do that tonight, Southgate out straight up.
I'm Southgate out already. But anyway, I'm already Southgate out. I mean, Younes, we're going to wrap up. Final thoughts. Let them know where to find you, bro. Not that it's not. It's right there, people. It's right.
Yeah, you got the name right there. You can follow me on here on YouTube, Younes Talks Football. Let's hope we get a good win tonight. For those that are paying attention. And look, let's just hope this international break goes quick and we can get back to proper Chelsea talk. And let's just hope no one comes back injured. That's going to be the main priority for tonight. Yeah. When tonight is done, we're going to be looking at all our players and hopefully no one has fallen over. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Same goes for tomorrow, but yeah, see all of you next week.
Miz, let them know, bro, where they can find you. What other content you got coming out over the next couple of days?
Look, obviously, guys, you can see where to find me the other side of the coin. But before anything, honestly, more than my subscribers or anything like that, guys, please smash the like button. There's close to 400 people. Let's get to at least 400 likes. That's more than important. Like, I mean, if you come and subscribe on my channel, that's a bonus. But please hit the like button and get it to at least 400 likes. That would do us a lot of good, basically, in this boring international break. But yeah, in terms of my content, obviously do check out the awesome conversation I had with Matisse and Alex Goldberg just yesterday. Have a look at that. That a lot of people have been commenting some amazing stuff and DMs coming left, right, and center. And then I had Henry Wright earlier this morning talking about Spurs, and that was a lot of fun. That was so funny when a Spurs fan can take the mick on their own sort of club, and they've been so honest about it. So that was quite funny. And yeah, tonight, UK 7 p.m., I've just got some Chelsea news. I thought, let's get back to the roots of Chelsea news. And it's from the boys of We Ain't Got No History. So Jimmy Funnel and Ram will be there. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. But yeah, smash the like button, guys. Smash the like button.
Brilliant stuff. And yeah, guys, listen. It's not our usual show. We spoke a lot about internationals, and then we veered off into some big Tammy Werner debate, which was quite fun. But normal service will resume next week as we build up to I've never looked forward to Chelsea versus West Brom so much in my life. It's actually ridiculous. Yeah.
Bro, we need to get revenge, bro. What they did to us earlier this season.
Yeah.
We
need
to. But I don't forget that 3-0 at halftime. You know, started that whole mess. We better slap them up good, man. None of these Sam Allardyce crap and whatnot. Like, we better slap them up.
Yeah, and as I said off air, just to wrap up, people, I don't know what I'm going to do with his hair, but I may do a whole forfeit thing where if Chelsea lose this particular game, I'll go bald. I'm very serious about it. I'm really running out of patience now. So listen, we'll see you guys. See you guys next week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. same time. Turkish and Joel Bayer from Cheekysport will be with me at 11 a.m. Nice. So we'll be discussing more football, more internationals. Actually, maybe I'll ditch the internationals. We never know. I'll think about it, but we'll see. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace.
See ya.